I had a meeting earlier today with a new chief procurement officer from a Fortune 500 company. She just got into the role about a month ago. And the first thing that she wanted to do was figure out what's being bought and where. And it seems to me like that is a good diagnostic to do when you're getting into a new seat. Just figure out, okay, what's been the spend across categories for the last 12 months. But it also surprised me to hear that there wasn't already some kind of spend cube or spend analytics in place already. Is that the norm across, enterprise businesses? Why is spend analytics not a more pervasive, I guess you could call it technology, or even just the one-time roll-up of a spend cube in a consulting or private equity format? I'd love to get your take on it. Or is the value not there,
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, can you imagine, a CFO coming in and saying, there's no ledger? No, but I mean, a CPO coming in like there's no spend ledger. It's kind of like why that I've actually seen some companies where it is a material finding if they don't have that ability to actually track, their spend, and they actually treat it very seriously. But to your point, yeah, I mean, I'm going back 25 years almost, and there's the old adage, which is, spend analytics, spend visibility is job one for procurement. You can't improve spend. You can't do spend management unless you can actually see that spend.
Right.
Captain Obvious, right? But yet, 25 years later, companies still are really bad at having good, detailed, accurate, relatively timely, spend visibility that they can take action on and drive some value. And
why do you think that is? And that's the question, right? Like, if it seems like it's an important, like, fundamental building block, why is that not in like the must-have tool set of every CPO? And why is it not more pervasive today?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think one is there's always this, we ROI everything, it is like the ROI Death March on any investment on anything. And so like when you have an area that's obviously strategic and foundational, but yet it's like, well, what's the ROI on the spend analytics? Like technically it's zero because it doesn't necessarily, create the savings, but it's like, it's the treasure finder, right? We're giving you this thing that's actually just telling you where the treasure is. That's pretty valuable. That's a pretty massive option value, right? But sometimes people do get bogged down in that. Sometimes it's an IT will derail you. It's like, well, we have this giant data warehouse. Isn't it great? We're already working on, but there's, it's so slow, not getting what, the insights that you need. So I think there's a few factors around it, as well as just companies are really dynamic. They're buying other companies. We're adding more data into the portfolio. They have varying spend taxonomies. And then you get just bogged down into this whole, well, we need the mother of all spend taxonomies, and we got to clean all in, you get all these vested interests and legacy data, and you just start, things grind to a halt. So anyway, long answers. I think it's probably ROI, just kind of the entropy around all that, inertia around all that data, and kind of just legacy systems and mindsets and whatever. And you just need that running water, right? And I'm like, what's the ROI of running water?
Pretty high. Unless you're living in the movie Idiocracy, where it's all Brando.